Hello YouTube, it's Sam from Sam's Garden Maintenance, and in this video today guys, I want to talk to you about something that you don't often hear being talked about, and it's coping with boredom. Now I'm not on about, in our personal lives, but quite often some of the jobs we get can often be extremely monotonous. And it's basically just getting through it and dealing with it. We've all got our own versions of what is boring. Some people, love weeding. Some people love power washing. Some people love grass cutting. But then some people can find, all those tasks extremely boring and extremely unsatisfying. So I have my own version personally. Certain things bore me after a while, or doing a lot of it. So I love mowing lawns, but I wouldn't like literally just to mow lawns every day. Likewise, there's one property I used to do, and that was about 3 hours of push mowing, and after about the first say 20 minutes it just got very boring. It's dead. Likewise, power washing, everybody, I'd say, friends and family, or people I get talking to, they say, what is it you do? I say, oh, I'm a gardener and I do like power washing and stuff. Oh, that looks dead good, that does. I find that really satisfying. And again, after probably the first 5 minutes, I just get so bored. Really, and it's a very messy job, and that's sometimes people think it's a very good job, quote satisfying, but to me I find it extremely boring. But you have to do these jobs. I'd never turn anything down, really, because I just find it boring alone. I'll always entertain most jobs or do them, but sometimes you've got to do it, and if you want to put bread on the table, you've just got to do it. There's one job that I do really detest doing, and that is cutting firewood up and splitting it. I'll do it, as part of my service. I'll do it, but believe you me, I absolutely detest doing that job. And the reason I detest it so much was the last job I did. I'm sure I was furloughed. This was my last employee job, and he had me shoved away just cutting firewood. And I used to look after log cabins, so I thought I'd definitely be furloughed over COVID, but instead I was shoved on a site literally with a huge pile of wood, and that was it, just cutting wood all day. And I'll be honest with you, it pretty much destroyed any enjoyment I got from cutting firewood. As I said, I just got completely bored of it, and as I said, I lost any enjoyment in it. So now people say, oh, we booked a firewood. As I say, they've got to be a good loyal customer for me to do it. But some people, find shit like that very therapeutic. But me personally, I absolutely detest it with a passion. So you got a job, and it's going to be a big job. I don't mind the hard work as long as it's varied. But say, like, how did I cope with the firewood? How did I cope with if I've got to do a large mowing job? It's like yesterday I spent all day weeding, and well, I try and look at it not at the beginning, I try and look at it at the end. I always try and break it down into little bite-sized chunks. So with the weed the weeding yesterday, I'll do that little bed. I'll get that little bed done, do that other little bed, and that's that little area done. And once I've done that, I'll do them 2 little veg patches. I'll do that, that's done. You know, I'll do that little bit, oh, once I've done that, I'll go and have a penguin. You know, it's I'm not saying, you know, we're forced into like POW style sentences here, but you know, there is times when they are shit, and it is shit, and it is boring, and you've just got to basically just take little bites of it and just treat it like that. I always listen to podcasts and music, and I always listen to a podcast I can try and get into. I'll be honest with you, there's times where I'll put music on and I'll just zone out in my own imagination, because there's things in my you know, my hobbies and stuff, my interests, that it is nice to, you know, have time to think, how can I go about solving this problem, how can I go about doing this. There's a project I've got coming up where I need to construct something out of metal and Lexan, and I'm thinking, well, how's the best way to do it, how's the best way to construct it, how's the best way to make it so I can take it apart, you know, all shit like that. There's so many different things that I've got going through my head, and I'll be honest with you, that alone can while away a job. Also trying to stay, you know, positive and cheery, and actually wanting the job in the first place. I find that is a big motivating factor, because there's nothing worse than sort of either taking on a job that you just don't want and it's a long slog of a job, or getting sort of pushed into it maybe, because we do sometimes, as much as we you know, we are our own business and all that, we do sort of get pushed into a job sometimes that we might necessarily not want to take on in the first place. So I do, as I say, try and stay as positive as I can, even though it is shit. But you know, if it is that you're forced into it, well, you just get on with it, don't you? I don't think of the job sometimes, I just think of, well, once it's done, I can get home. And once you're at home, you forget, you know, and that's how I see it, you know. It's think of any bad situation in your life, it's after the fact, it always doesn't seem as bad, and I always just think that, you know, I think, oh, it's going to be shit, but once I've done it, I'm back home, I'll be thinking, well, what was all the fuss about? And maybe that's a bit of bloody, you know, deniers sort of thing there, I don't know, but as I said, that's how I see it. And yeah, you know, strong mental attitude, you know, try and look on a positive. Podcasts, music, something you can get into mentally, and also, you know, taking a break every now and then. Might be time, you know, if you're working hourly, that you know, they might be watching you, but well, a break in between might just make the job go that much better, opposed to sort of pushing your way through it, and then at the end just thinking, oh well, fucking hell. So as I said, it's just little things like that, but as I said, we get them all the time, you know, and it isn't all you know, swings and roses and all that. It's sometimes there can be hugely boring jobs and terrible jobs, and as I said, you just got to get through it whatever way you decide to get through it. But, yeah, that's just a different video today, a different sort of look at things, and well, have a good day then guys, and as usual, keep on gardening.